The moon was big and red in the sky. Chloe could not stop shaking. The cold snow hurt her bare feet. A thick rope was tied around her wrists, and Greg pulled her deeper into the dark trees. "Walk faster," Greg said. His voice was hard. Chloe tried to speak. "Please, Greg, I'm scared." He didn't look at her. "We all are. This is the only way the wolf leaves the village alone." They came to a very old tree. Big iron rings were nailed into it. This was the place every year on the red moon. Greg pushed Chloe down into the snow. Her knees hurt. Another man helped lock the rope to the tree so she could not run. Greg stood up. "One girl keeps the rest safe. That's how it's always been." Chloe looked up at him. Tears ran down her cold face. "I'm only 19. I have a little sister. Please don't leave me." Greg turned away fast. The men walked back the way they came. Soon their footsteps were gone. Chloe was alone. The wind was loud in the trees. Snow fell on her hair and shoulders. She pulled at the rope, but it was too strong. Minutes felt like hours. Then she heard it. A low growl. Yellow eyes glowed between the dark trees. A huge black wolf stepped out. It was bigger than any dog she had ever seen. Its fur was shiny and black. Old scars crossed its face and chest. Chloe's heart beat so hard she thought it would break. The wolf walked slowly around her. Hot breath came from its nose and melted the snow where it stood. Chloe closed her eyes. "Just make it quick," she whispered. But nothing happened. She opened her eyes again. The wolf was gone. In its place stood a tall man. He had messy black hair and the same yellow eyes. He wore only dark pants. No shirt. No shoes. Even in the snow. Scars covered his wide chest. He looked at Chloe for a long time. Then he spoke, voice low and rough. "They still do this?" Chloe couldn't answer. She only stared. The man walked closer. He knelt in the snow in front of her. With one hand he snapped the thick rope like it was string. Chloe fell forward. He caught her before she hit the ground. His skin was warm. Very warm. "You're free," he said. Chloe found her voice. Who are you?" "My name is Matt." He looked angry, but not at her. "And you're coming with me." Chloe tried to stand, but her legs shook too much. Matt held her up like she weighed nothing. "You're freezing," he said. He took off his belt and wrapped it around her wrists where the rope had cut her skin. Then he lifted her into his arms. Chloe wanted to fight, but she was too cold and too tired. His chest was hot against her cheek. She closed her eyes. Matt started walking fast through the trees. Snow didn't slow him down. He didn't leave footprints. After a long time, the trees opened up. There was a small cabin made of logs. Smoke came from the stone chimney. Warm light showed in the windows. Matt kicked the door open and carried her inside. The cabin was simple. One big room. A fire burned in the fireplace. A bed with thick blankets was in the corner. A table and 2 chairs. That was all. He put Chloe down on the bed and pulled a blanket over her. "Stay here," he said. He went to the fire and added more wood. Chloe's teeth still clicked together. She watched him. "Are you the wolf?" Matt looked at her. His yellow eyes looked softer now. "Yes." "Are you going to kill me?" He stopped moving. "No." "Then why did you take me?" Matt came and sat on the edge of the bed. "Because you're my mate." Chloe didn't know that word. "What does that mean?" "It means the moon picked you for me. Forever." He said it like it was the most normal thing in the world. Chloe pulled the blanket tighter. "I want to go home." Matt's face got hard. "You can't. If you go back, they will just bring you here again next month. Or kill you themselves so the wolf gets angry." Chloe started to cry quietly. Matt looked like he didn't know what to do. He reached out and touched her hair once, then pulled his hand back fast. "I'm not good with people," he said. "I've been alone a long time." "How long?" 20 years. Chloe looked around the small cabin. There were no pictures, no books, just tools and weapons on the wall. A big knife, an axe, a bow. "You live here all the time?" Matt nodded. "After the village killed my pack, I stayed in these woods. I watched them leave girls every red moon. I never took one before." "Why now?" He looked straight into her eyes. "Because when I smelled you, everything changed." Chloe didn't know what to say. Matt stood up. "You need food and sleep. Tomorrow we talk more." He went to a shelf and took out a big shirt. It was soft and clean. "Put this on. Your dress is wet." Chloe took the shirt. Matt turned his back to give her privacy. She changed fast. The shirt came down to her knees. It smelled like wood and smoke and something wild. When she was done, Matt gave her a bowl of hot soup. It tasted like meat and potatoes. It was the best thing she had ever eaten. She finished it all. Matt took the bowl. "Sleep now." Chloe lay back on the bed. The blankets were warm. The fire made soft sounds. She was asleep in minutes. When she woke up, sunlight came through the window. The fire was still going. Matt sat in a chair watching her. "You slept a long time," he said. Chloe sat up. Her body still hurt, but she felt better. "I made breakfast," Matt said. He put a plate on the table, eggs and bread. Chloe walked over slowly. She sat down and ate. Matt watched her the whole time. When she finished, she asked, "What happens now?" "Now you decide," Matt said. "You can try to run. I won't stop you. But the village will never let you stay. Or you can stay here, with me." Chloe looked at the door, then at Matt. "I don't even know you," she said. "You will," he answered. "We have all the time in the world." Chloe stared at the door for a long time. Snow was piled high outside the window. The forest looked endless. She looked back at Matt. "If I stay, what do I have to do?" "Nothing," he said. "Just be here, with me." "That's all?" Matt nodded once. "That's all." Chloe hugged her arms around herself. "I had a life in the village. My little brother, Tim. He's only 8. He's going to think I'm dead." Matt's face changed. He looked sad for the first time. "I know. I'm sorry. Can I at least tell him I'm okay?" Matt shook his head. "If they know you're alive, they will come with guns and fire. They will try to kill us both." Chloe started crying again. Matt moved closer but didn't touch her. "I lost everyone too. My mom, my dad, my 2 sisters. The village came with torches 20 years ago. I was 15. I hid in a cave and watched them burn everything. That's why I never took the girls they left. Until you." Chloe wiped her eyes. "So we're both alone." "Now we're not," Matt said quietly. The day went slow. Matt showed her the cabin. There was a small room in the back with a tub. He carried buckets of snow and melted them on the fire so she could wash. He gave her warm socks and a pair of his old pants that she rolled up many times. At night, he cooked deer meat. Chloe ate until her stomach hurt. When it was time to sleep, Matt pointed to the bed. "You take it." "Where will you sleep?" He pointed to the floor by the fire. "I'm used to it." Chloe felt bad. "The bed is big enough for 2. Matt looked surprised. "I don't want to scare you." "You saved me," she said. "I'm not scared of you anymore." Matt still slept on the floor that night, but he put his blanket close to the bed. Days turned into a week. Matt hunted every morning. He brought back rabbits and deer. He taught Chloe how to skin them and cook them. She learned fast. In the afternoons, he chopped wood. Chloe watched from the door. His body was strong. He never wore a shirt, even when it snowed. He said the cold didn't bother him. One afternoon, Chloe asked, "Can you change into the wolf any time?" "Yes." "Will you show me?" Matt looked nervous. "You sure?" Chloe nodded. He stepped outside. In 1 second, his body changed. Bones moved under his skin. Black fur grew. He became the huge wolf again. Chloe walked up slowly and touched his head. His fur was soft and warm. "You're beautiful," she said. The wolf made a happy sound and pressed his head against her hand. That night, Chloe said, "You can sleep on the bed if you want." Matt changed back to human. He looked at her for a long time. Then he lay down on top of the blanket, far on his side. Chloe fell asleep first. In the middle of the night, she woke up cold. Matt had moved closer. His arm was around her waist. His chest was against her back. He was breathing slow and deep. Chloe smiled a little and went back to sleep. The next morning, Matt woke up fast. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't mean to." "I liked it," Chloe said, face red. Matt smiled for the first time. It was a small smile, but it made him look younger. Winter got harder. Snow came up to the windows. Matt carried Chloe outside sometimes just to feel the sun on her face for a minute. One night, the moon was full again, red like the night she was left. Matt got quiet. "What's wrong?" Chloe asked. "On red moons, I have to change. I can't stop it. I might scare you." "I'm not scared," she said. She took his hand. "Stay with me." That night, Matt changed inside the cabin. The big black wolf lay by the fire. Chloe sat next to him and put her head on his warm back. She fell asleep like that. When she woke up, Matt was human again. He was watching her. "I love you," he said. The words came out fast, like he was afraid to say them. Chloe's heart beat hard. She leaned over and kissed him softly on the mouth. "I love you too," she whispered. Matt kissed her back, gentle at first, then stronger. His hands held her face. Chloe felt warm all over. They stayed like that a long time. Spring came. Snow started to melt. One morning, Chloe heard voices far away, men shouting. Matt heard it too. His body went still. "They found us," he said. Matt moved fast. He pulled on boots and grabbed a long knife from the wall. "Stay inside," he told Chloe. "Lock the door." Chloe's heart was racing. "I'm not leaving you." Matt looked at her. He saw she meant it. He gave a short nod. "Stay behind me, then." They stepped outside together. 6 men from the village stood at the edge of the clearing. Greg was in front. They all held guns. Greg pointed at Chloe. "We knew she was alive when the attack stopped. Bring her back, Wolf. The deal is over." Matt stepped forward. His voice was calm but loud. "There is no deal anymore. She is mine." Greg laughed. "One girl for the whole village? You don't get to change the rules." Chloe stepped out from behind Matt. "I'm not going back. I choose to stay here." The men looked at each other. One younger man raised his gun. Matt growled. The sound was not human. His eyes turned yellow. Greg lifted his hand. "Wait. We don't want to die today. But we can't go home empty-handed. The village is scared." Chloe spoke again. "Then tell them the wolf is gone. Tell them he took me far away, and you never found us. Let us live in peace." Greg looked at her for a long time. "You really love this monster." "He's not a monster," Chloe said. "He's my home." Greg lowered his gun a little. "If we go back and say that, some men will still come looking." Matt spoke. "Let them come. Next time, I won't let them leave the forest." The men shifted their feet. They knew what that meant. Greg looked at the ground, then at Chloe. Your little brother Tim asks about you every day. Chloe felt tears in her eyes. Tell Tim I'm safe and happy. Tell him I found someone who loves me. Greg nodded once. He turned to the others. Let's go. There's nothing here for us. The men walked away slowly. No one looked back. When they were gone, Chloe started shaking. Matt pulled her into his arms. It's over, he said. Is it? She asked. Yes, he answered. They won't come again. Summer came. The forest turned green. Flowers grew everywhere. Chloe's belly started to grow. One warm night she sat outside with Matt, looking at the stars. I'm scared, she said. What if the baby is like you? Matt put his hand on her stomach. He smiled. Then the baby will be strong and fast and beautiful and loved by both of us. Chloe leaned against him. Do you think the village really left us alone? Matt was quiet for a minute. They did. I checked the borders every week. No footprints. No guns. Chloe closed her eyes. She felt safe. Years went by. Their son was born on a night with a big red moon. He had Matt's black hair and Chloe's green eyes. They named him Leo. Leo could change into a small black wolf pup when he was only 3. Chloe laughed the first time she saw it. Matt cried happy tears. They built a bigger cabin. Chloe planted a garden. Matt hunted. Leo ran wild in the woods and always came home before dark. One day, when Leo was 10, a single man walked out of the trees. It was Greg. He was old now. His hair was white. He carried no gun. Matt stepped in front of his family. Chloe held Leo's hand. Greg raised both hands. I come in peace. What do you want? Matt asked. Greg looked at Chloe. Your brother Tim is sick. He is 20 now. He never believed you were dead. He asked me to find you. Just once. So he knows you're okay. Chloe felt her eyes fill with tears. She looked at Matt. Matt nodded. You can see him. But only here, and only this one time. Greg smiled a tired smile. That's all he wants. 2 days later, Tim walked into the clearing. He was tall and thin. When he saw Chloe, he ran and hugged her so hard she almost fell. Leo watched with big eyes. Tim cried. I knew you were alive. I told them all. Chloe held her brother for a long time. That night they ate together outside. Matt cooked deer meat. Leo showed Tim how he could turn into a wolf. Tim laughed and clapped. Before Tim left, he hugged Chloe again. I'm happy you're happy, sis. Chloe watched him walk away. She felt sad and glad at the same time. Matt stood behind her and put his arms around her. You okay? He asked. Yes, she said. I have everything I need right here. The moon came up big and silver. Leo howled at it. Matt joined in. Chloe smiled and listened to her family sing to the night. She was home. Years kept passing. Quiet and good. Leo grew tall and strong like his father. At 16, he could run faster than any wolf Matt had ever known. Chloe's hair started to show a few silver strands, but her smile stayed the same. One spring morning, Leo came back from hunting with news. Dad, there are people at the edge of the forest. Not hunters. Families. They look scared. Matt and Chloe went to see. 7 families stood in a line. Men, women, small children. Their clothes were torn. They carried everything they owned on their backs. A woman stepped forward. She looked about 30. We heard stories about a safe place in these woods, a place where the wolf protects people. Is it true? Matt looked at Chloe. Chloe looked at the little kids hiding behind their mothers. She took Matt's hand. What do you think? Matt was quiet for a long time. Then he spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. This forest is big. There is room. But there are rules. No fire at night unless I say. No guns. No hurting each other. You follow the rules, you are safe. You break them, you leave. Or worse." The woman started to cry. "Thank you." That was the beginning. More families came over the next months. Some ran from wars, some from hunger, some just wanted a new start. Matt and Leo built new cabins. Chloe taught the women how to plant gardens and dry meat for winter. Leo trained the older boys how to track and hunt without guns. They called the place Moonhaven. No one ever went hungry. No one ever got sick without help. Children played in the clearing and laughed loud enough to scare the birds. Every full moon, Matt and Leo changed together and ran the border. They kept the real monsters away. One night, 20 years after the first families came, Chloe stood on the hill above Moonhaven. Hundreds of lights glowed in the windows below. Matt walked up behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist. "Look what we made," Chloe said softly. Matt rested his chin on her head. "We made a home. For everyone." Leo ran up the hill in wolf form, then changed back. He was 26 now, and had a mate of his own, a quiet girl named Rose, who was expecting their first baby. "Dad, the kids want a story," Leo said, smiling. Matt laughed. "The one about the girl they left in the snow?" Leo nodded. "Always that one." Chloe took Matt's hand and Leo's hand. Together they walked down the hill. The children sat in a big circle around the fire. When they saw Chloe, they shouted, "Tell us! Tell us how it started." Chloe sat down. Matt and Leo sat on each side of her. She looked at all the happy faces and began, "Once upon a time, a village left a girl in the forest as bait. They thought the big black wolf would eat her. But the wolf had been waiting his whole life for that one girl. He carried her home. He kept her safe. And together, they built a place where no one ever has to be afraid again." The children cheered. Matt leaned over and kissed Chloe's cheek. Under the big silver moon, the three of them smiled. They were still there when the sun came up. Home. The story didn't really end. It just grew. Years later, when Chloe's hair had turned fully silver and Matt's scars had faded to soft white lines, the children of Moonhaven started calling them Grandma Chloe and Grandpa Wolf. Leo and Rose had 4 pups of their own, all wild and loud and perfect. The oldest, a girl named Ember, had Chloe's green eyes and could already shift at age 5. She followed Matt everywhere, begging him to teach her how to howl so loud the stars shook. One winter night, the biggest red moon anyone had ever seen rose over the trees. The whole village gathered in the clearing, hundreds of people now. Cabins stretched far into the forest. Lanterns glowed like golden stars on the snow. Chloe stood on the same hill where she once watched 7 scared families arrive. Matt stood beside her, still strong, still warm. Leo raised his arms. "Tonight we remember," he called. "Tonight we tell the story again." Every voice in Moonhaven answered together. They left her in the forest as bait, but the lone wolf chose her as his forever. Chloe laughed until tears ran down her cheeks. Matt wiped them away with his thumb. Ember tugged on Chloe's coat. "Grandma, did you really kiss Grandpa Wolf the first night?" Chloe knelt down and hugged the little girl. "Not the first night. I was too cold. But the second night, yes." The crowd laughed. Someone started drumming. Someone else brought out fiddles. The celebration lasted until dawn. Later, when the moon was gone and the sky turned pink, Matt and Chloe walked back to their original cabin. It still stood, small and simple, at the heart of everything. Inside, the fire was low. Chloe added one more log. Matt sat on the bed, and pulled her into his lap like he used to when they were young. "You tired?" he asked. "A little," she said. "Happy, tired." Matt kissed her slow and gentle, the same way he had for 50 winters. "I still smell you the same," he whispered against her lips. "Like snow and home." Chloe smiled. "And you still feel like the warmest place in the world." They fell asleep like that, wrapped up together. Outside, the forest was quiet. Inside, 2 hearts beat slow and steady. The lone wolf had found his forever, and forever had only just started. Morning light came soft through the small window. Chloe opened her eyes first. Matt was still asleep behind her, one heavy arm across her waist. His breathing was slow and warm against her neck. She smiled and stayed still. She liked these quiet minutes before the day got loud. A small knock came at the door, then another, then a little voice. "Grandma? Grandpa? Are you awake?" Chloe laughed quietly. "That's Ember." Matt made a sleepy sound and pulled her closer. 5 more minutes. The door opened anyway. Ember ran in, barefoot even in winter, her black curls wild. She jumped straight onto the bed and landed on Matt's legs. "Grandpa, you said you'd teach me the long howl today." Matt opened one yellow eye. "I said after breakfast." Ember crossed her arms. "You always say after breakfast. Breakfast takes forever." Chloe sat up and fixed the girl's hair. "Go start the fire in the big house. We'll be there soon. Tell everyone pancakes today." Ember's eyes got big. "With honey." "With honey," Chloe promised. Ember kissed Chloe fast on the cheek, then Matt, then ran out yelling, "Pancakes! Pancakes with honey!" Matt groaned, but he was smiling. "That girl is louder than a whole pack." Chloe kissed his forehead. "She's your blood." They got up slow. Chloe put on warm socks and her favorite green sweater. Matt pulled on pants and a shirt. He still never wore shoes inside. Outside, the village was already awake. Smoke rose from every chimney. Children chased each other between the cabins. Someone was chopping wood. Someone else was singing. Chloe and Matt walked hand in hand to the big house, the long log building in the center where everyone ate together when the weather was cold. Inside, it smelled like coffee and baking bread. Rose was at the big stove flipping pancakes. Leo carried stacks of plates. Their 3 younger kids helped set the tables. Ember stood on a chair pouring honey into little bowls. When she saw Chloe, she waved sticky fingers. "Grandma, sit here." She pointed to the head table. Chloe and Matt sat down. Soon every seat was full. More than 100 people now lived in Moonhaven. Some were born here. Some had walked in just like the first 7 families. Leo hit a spoon against a cup. Everyone got quiet. "Before we eat," he said, "we say thank you. To the forest, to the moon, and to the 2 people who started all this." He looked at Chloe and Matt. Everyone raised their cups and said together, "Thank you, Grandma Chloe. Thank you, Grandpa Wolf." Chloe felt her eyes get wet. Matt squeezed her hand under the table. Then the noise started again. Plates clinked. Children laughed. Pancakes disappeared fast. After breakfast, Chloe helped wash dishes. Matt and Leo took the older boys to check the border traps. They still kept the forest safe, even though no one had come hunting them in years. Ember stayed with Chloe. "Grandma, can we go pick the first spring flowers today?" she asked. Chloe dried her hands. "Yes, but we take a basket, and we stay on the safe paths." They walked out together. The snow was almost gone. Little green points poked up through the dirt. The air smelled new. They went to the meadow behind the old cabin, the same place Matt had carried Chloe the night he saved her. purple and yellow flowers were already open. Ember ran ahead, picking the biggest ones. Chloe followed slower, enjoying the sun on her face. When the basket was half full, Ember sat down in the grass. "Grandma, tell me the story again. The real one, not the short one for little kids." Chloe sat beside her. "You've heard it 100 times. I know, but I like when you tell it." Chloe looked at the flowers and began. "I was 19. The village picked me because I had no parents to fight for me. They took my shoes, tied my hands, and left me at the big tree. I thought I would die that night." Ember leaned against her side. "Then I heard the growl. I closed my eyes. I was sure it was the end, but the wolf didn't bite me. He broke the rope. He carried me here. He gave me warm soup and a safe bed." Ember smiled. "And you fell in love." "It took a little longer than one night," Chloe said, laughing. "But yes, I fell in love." Ember picked a purple flower and put it behind Chloe's ear. "I want a love like that one day." "You will," Chloe said. "The moon is good at picking." They stayed in the meadow until the sun was high. Then they walked back with a full basket. That night there was a small dance in the big house. Someone played guitar. Someone played fiddle. Children ran between the legs of grown-ups. Matt pulled Chloe into the middle of the floor. "We're too old for this," she said. "Never," he answered. He spun her slow. She put her head on his chest. They moved together like they had done for 50 years. Ember watched from the side and clapped when the song ended. Later, when the fire was low and most people had gone home, Chloe and Matt walked back to their small cabin. Inside it was warm and quiet again. Matt closed the door. He looked at Chloe for a long time. "What?" she asked. "Just looking," he said. "I still can't believe you're real." Chloe walked over and kissed him. "I'm real, and I'm yours, always." They went to bed early. Outside, the forest kept watch. Another perfect day in Moonhaven. The next morning came with rain. Soft spring rain that tapped on the roof and made everything smell clean. Chloe woke up to the sound of running feet outside, children laughing, someone shouting, "It's raining! It's raining!" Matt was already up. He stood at the open door looking out. Rain dripped from his black hair. Chloe walked over and stood beside him. "Remember the first spring we had together?" she asked. Matt smiled. "You danced in the rain until you got sick. I had to carry you inside and make you drink hot tea for 3 days." "You liked taking care of me," Chloe said. "I still do." They watched the village come alive. People ran out with buckets to catch the fresh water. Mothers called for kids to come back inside before they got too wet. Leo stood in the middle of the clearing with his arms out, letting the rain fall on his face. Rose laughed at him from the doorway. Ember ran straight to Chloe and Matt's cabin, soaked to the skin. "Grandma! Grandpa, come dance." Chloe looked at Matt. "We're too old." "That's what you said last time," he answered. He took her hand and pulled her outside. The 3 of them danced in the mud. Ember jumped in puddles. Chloe spun until she was dizzy. Matt caught her when she almost fell. Soon half the village was outside dancing. Even the oldest people came out with smiles. The rain stopped as fast as it started. The sun came out bright and warm. Steam rose from the ground. That afternoon, Chloe went to the healing house. It was a small cabin where she kept herbs and bandages. People came to her when they were hurt or sick. She had learned everything from books Matt brought back from old towns and from years of trying. Today, a young mother named Sarah was there with her baby boy. The baby had a fever. Chloe felt his hot little head. "He will be okay," she said. "I'll make tea from willow bark and honey." Sarah looked worried. "Thank you, Grandma Chloe. Everyone says you can fix anything." "I fix what I can," Chloe said. "The rest fixes itself." She made the tea and showed Sarah how to give it to the baby. By night, the fever was gone. Sarah cried happy tears and hugged Chloe tight. When Chloe walked home, the sky was orange and pink. Matt was fixing the fence around the garden. Leo helped him. Ember sat on the steps waiting. "Grandma, can I sleep here tonight?" she asked. "Of course," Chloe said. "You always can." That night, the three of them lay on the big bed, Ember in the middle. Chloe told stories until the girl fell asleep. Matt carried Ember to the small extra bed in the corner. Then he came back and lay beside Chloe. "She's growing fast," he said quietly. "Too fast," Chloe answered. "Soon, she'll have her own mate and her own babies." Matt was quiet for a long time. "I never thought we would have all this." Chloe turned to face him. "Me neither. I thought my story ended that night at the tree." Matt touched her cheek. "Your story started that night." They kissed soft and slow. Even after all the years, it still felt new. Summer came quick. The gardens grew tall, corn and beans and tomatoes. Chloe spent her days picking and canning food for winter. The children helped. They sang while they worked. One hot day, strangers came to Moonhaven. 3 of them, 2 men, and 1 woman. They stood at the edge of the clearing with their hands up to show they were not dangerous. Leo and 4 big men went to meet them. Matt walked behind, ready if he was needed. The woman spoke first. "We heard about a safe place in the forest, a place where wolves protect people. We walked 2 weeks to find it." Leo looked at Matt. Matt looked at Chloe, who had come to see. Chloe stepped forward. "What are your names?" The woman answered, "I'm Lena. This is my husband, Mark, and my brother, Sam. We lost our home to fire. We have nothing left." Chloe looked at the tired faces. She remembered the first 7 families. "There is room," she said, "but there are rules. You work. You share. You hurt no one. Can you do that?" All 3 nodded fast. "Then welcome to Moonhaven," Chloe said. That night the whole village ate outside. New tables were added for the new family. Everyone brought food to share. Children ran and played. Someone told stories. Someone sang. Lena cried when she tasted real bread again. Mark shook Matt's hand over and over. Sam helped carry wood without being asked. Chloe watched it all and felt her heart grow bigger. Later, when the stars were out, Matt found her sitting on the hill. "You did it again," he said, sitting beside her. "Did what?" "Opened the door." Chloe leaned against his shoulder. "You opened it first. The night you carried me here." Matt put his arm around her. "We opened it together." They sat quiet and watched the lights of Moonhaven shine below. Another family safe. Another day perfect. Life kept going, slow and good. Autumn painted the forest gold and red. The air smelled like apples and wood smoke. Everyone worked hard to get ready for winter. Men cut trees and stacked wood high. Women dried meat and filled jars with berries. Children carried baskets and sang the same songs their parents had taught them. One cool morning, Ember ran to Chloe's cabin holding a letter. "Grandma, a bird brought this." It was true. A big gray raven landed on the fence every few weeks. It carried messages tied with red string. The raven belonged to a trader named Old Mara, who lived 3 days' walk south. Mara sent news and took news back. It was the only safe way to talk to the outside world. Chloe took the letter. The paper was rough. She opened it and read out loud so Matt and Ember could hear. Moonhaven. Winter will be hard this year. Snow started early in the south. Many villages lost their crops to flood. More people are walking north looking for food. Some carry sickness. Keep your gates ready, but your hearts kind. I send salt and needles. Take care of each other. Old Mara. Matt looked worried. More people and sickness. Chloe folded the letter. We've done it before. We'll do it again. That same week, the first big group arrived. 23 people. Thin, tired, some coughing, a few children too weak to walk. Leo and the men met them at the edge. Chloe walked forward with a basket of bread and clean water. A man carried a little girl in his arms. The girl's eyes were closed. Chloe touched the man's arm. Bring her to the healing house. Now. They made room fast. 3 empty cabins were opened. Fires were started. Pots of soup went on every stove. Chloe worked day and night. She boiled willow bark and pine needles for the cough. She made beds from fresh straw. She held crying mothers while their children slept. Matt hunted from sunrise to sunset. He brought back deer and rabbits until there was meat for everyone. Ember carried water buckets even when her arms shook. She never complained. After 10 days, the sickness passed. No one died. The new people started to smile again. One night, the man who had carried the sick little girl came to Chloe's cabin. His name was Tomas. The girl was his daughter Mia. She was 5 and already running around again. Tomas stood at the door with tears on his face. I don't have words big enough, he said. You saved my baby. Chloe hugged him. We save each other here. That's the rule. Winter came early, just like old Mara warned. Snow fell heavy and deep. The forest went white and quiet. Moonhaven stayed warm. Cabins were tight. Woodpiles were high. Food shelves were full. Every night the big house was packed. People told stories, sang songs, played games. Children fell asleep on laps and were carried home wrapped in blankets. On the longest night of the year, the whole village walked to the meadow with lanterns. They made a big circle and lit a tall bonfire. Leo spoke first. This is the night the moon is smallest, but our light is biggest. Then everyone told one thing they were thankful for. Some said food, some said warm beds, some said friends. When it was Chloe's turn, she looked at Matt. I am thankful for the night a wolf carried me out of the snow. That night gave me every night after. Matt's eyes were wet. He didn't speak. He just pulled her close and kissed her in front of everyone. The whole village cheered and clapped. Ember stood on a log and shouted, I'm thankful for pancakes and Grandma and Grandpa and Moonhaven forever. Everyone laughed. Snow started to fall while they walked home. Big soft flakes that stuck to hair and eyelashes. That night, Chloe and Matt lay in bed listening to the quiet. Do you ever miss the time it was just us? Chloe asked. Matt thought about it. Sometimes. But then I look at all the kids running around, and I know this is better. Chloe smiled. Me too. Spring came again, slow and green. One morning, Ember woke Chloe and Matt very early. Come quick. You have to see. They followed her to the old sacrifice tree, the same tree where Chloe had once been chained. Someone had carved words deep into the trunk many years ago. The letters were grown over now, but you could still read them if you knew where to look. She was left as bait. He chose her as forever. Love grew a village, but today there was something new. Fresh flowers were placed all around the base, hundreds of them, purple, yellow, white, and a new carving, still bright and sharp. Moonhaven. We are home because of them. Chloe put her hand over her mouth. Tears ran down. Matt stood behind her and wrapped his arms around her. Ember hugged them both. From far away they heard voices. The whole village was coming, singing the song they always sang on the first warm day. Chloe, Matt, and Ember stood together at the tree and waited for their family to arrive. The circle got bigger every year, but the love stayed the same. The summer Ember turned 12 was the hottest anyone could remember. The river ran low, and the gardens needed water, carried in buckets from morning till night. Everyone's skin turned brown from the sun. Children swam naked in the cool pools and came home, dripping and happy. One afternoon, Chloe sat on the cabin porch, peeling apples for drying. Matt was fixing the roof of the healing house. Ember was supposed to be helping Chloe, but she kept sneaking off to practice shifting behind the woodpile. Chloe pretended not to notice. She knew what it felt like to be 12 and full of new power. Suddenly Ember came running, half wolf and half girl, fur still on her arms, eyes bright gold. "Grandma! Strangers at the north edge! Leo sent me to get you and Grandpa." Matt dropped his hammerousness and jumped down from the roof in one move. Chloe wiped her hands on her apron and followed. They walked fast through the village. People stopped what they were doing and came too. When something happened at the edge, everyone wanted to know. At the north border stood Leo and 6 men. In front of them were 4 people on horses. Real horses. Big and healthy. That alone was strange. Hardly anyone outside Moonhaven had horses anymore. The leader was a woman with short gray hair and strong arms. She wore leather clothes and carried a long knife on her belt, but her hands were open. Leo looked back when he saw Chloe and Matt. "They say they come from the coast," he told them. "They bring news and a gift." The gray-haired woman got down from her horse. She walked straight to Chloe and Matt and bowed her head a little. "My name is Captain Nora," she said. "We heard stories of Moonhaven all the way to the sea. They say a wolf pack protects people here, and no one goes hungry. We came to see if it's true." Chloe looked at the horses, then at the woman's tired eyes. "It's true. You are welcome to water and food." Nora smiled, but it was a sad smile. "We thank you, but we also bring something for you." She waved to one of her men. He got down and opened a big leather bag. Inside were packages wrapped in cloth. Nora opened one. It was salt. Real sea salt. Another package held needles and strong thread. A third held glass bottles of medicine. Chloe's eyes went wide. They had not seen real glass bottles in years. "There is more," Nora said. She took out a rolled piece of paper and gave it to Chloe. Chloe opened it carefully. It was a drawing, done with charcoal in bright colors. It showed a big tree with words carved in it. The same tree that stood in their forest. The same words. She was left as bait. He chose her as forever. Love grew a village. Under the drawing were hundreds of names written small and neat. "People on the coast tell your story," Nora said. "Children draw it on walls. Old people tell it at night. They call you the first mother and the first wolf. They say if you walk north far enough, you will find a safe place started by love." Chloe could not speak. Tears ran down her face. Matt put his arm around her shoulders. Nora kept talking. "We do not ask to stay. We only wanted to see the place with our own eyes and bring gifts to say thank you. Your story gave people hope when everything was dark." Chloe found her voice. "Stay the night at least. Eat with us. Let the children see horses." Nora looked at her people. They all nodded. That night was one of the best Moon Haven ever had. The big house was full again. The visitors told stories of the sea and big ships that still sailed sometimes. Children touched the horses and fed them apples. Someone brought out the good cider saved for special days. Captain Nora sat next to Chloe and Matt. "How many live here now?" she asked. "Almost 400, Chloe said. Nora shook her head. "From one girl and one wolf. That is a miracle." Matt spoke quiet. "Love is stronger than fear. That is the only secret." Before the visitors left the next morning, Nora gave Chloe a small wooden box. "Open it when you are alone," she said. After they rode away, Chloe and Matt went back to their cabin. Ember followed, too curious to stay away. Chloe opened the box. Inside was a single silver ring. Simple, but beautiful. On the inside were carved 2 tiny words. "Forever began here." There was a note, too. "We made this from silver taken from the sea. Wear it or keep it. Either way, know that your love saved more than one girl that night. It is still saving people." Chloe slipped the ring on her finger. It fit perfect. Ember hugged her hard. "Grandma, you're famous." Chloe laughed through tears. "No, little one. We are just us." But that night, when the moon was big and bright, Chloe and Matt walked to the old sacrifice tree. Matt took her hand with the new ring. "I never gave you a real ring," he said. "I'm sorry." Chloe looked up at him. "You gave me everything. A home, a family, a whole village." Matt kissed her slow and deep, the same way he did when they were young, and the world was only the 2 of them. Ember watched from the shadows and smiled big. Then she ran back to tell everyone that Grandma and Grandpa were kissing again. Life kept growing, and the story kept traveling. The years did not slow down. They only got softer, like snow falling on warm skin. Ember turned 16 this summer. The sky stayed light until almost midnight. Moon Haven threw the biggest party anyone could remember. Tables ran from one end of the clearing to the other. Someone roasted 3 whole deer. Someone else tapped the last barrel of 10-year cider. Children ran wild with flower crowns. Old people danced until their legs gave out. At the head table sat Chloe and Matt. Chloe's hair was now pure silver, long and braided with tiny flowers Ember had woven in. Matt's black hair had gone gray at the sides, but his eyes were still the same bright yellow. Ember stood up on a bench and hit a spoon against her cup until everyone got quiet. "Today is my birthday," she shouted, "but it's really Grandma and Grandpa's day, too, because without them I wouldn't be here at all." Everyone cheered. Then Ember did something no one expected. She walked straight to Chloe and Matt, took their hands, and pulled them into the middle of the clearing. "Dance," she ordered. The fiddles started up. Everyone made a big circle. Matt looked at Chloe. "Still think we're too old?" Chloe laughed. "Never." They danced, slow at first, then faster. Matt lifted Chloe off the ground and spun her like she weighed nothing. She threw her head back and laughed loud enough for the whole forest to hear. When the song ended, the circle broke, and everyone rushed in to hug them. Chloe cried happy tears on too many shoulders to count. Later, when the fire was low and most people had gone to bed, Ember sat between Chloe and Matt on their porch steps. "I have something to tell you," she said. Her voice was serious. Chloe felt her heart jump. "What is it?" Ember took a deep breath. "I'm leaving tomorrow." Matt went very still. Ember hurried on. "Not forever. Just for 1 year. Captain Nora came back last month. She says the coast people want to learn how we live here. They want someone from Moonhaven to come teach them about gardens and healing and the rules that keep everyone safe. They asked for me. Chloe looked at Matt. Matt looked at the stars. Ember grabbed their hands. I'm 16 now. I can run the whole border in one night. I know every plant Grandma taught me. I can do this, and I want to. Chloe felt proud and scared at the same time. She remembered being 19 and waking up in a strange cabin with a wolf who said she was his forever. You're sure? She asked. Ember nodded hard. I want to take our story farther. Like it took care of me, I want to take care of other people. Matt finally spoke. His voice was rough. You come home the minute you want to. You hear me? Ember threw her arms around his neck. I hear you, Grandpa. The next morning, everyone walked Ember to the edge of the forest. Captain Nora waited with 6 strong horses. One was white, with a black mane, Ember's favorite. Ember hugged every single person. She saved Chloe and Matt for last. She kissed Chloe's cheek. I love you, Grandma. I love you more, Chloe whispered. Then Ember turned to Matt. For a second, she was 5 years old again, asking him to teach her the long howl. Matt pulled her into the biggest hug. Make us proud, little wolf. Ember's eyes were wet, but she smiled huge. Always. She climbed onto her horse. Captain Nora gave a short wave. They rode away slow so everyone could watch until the trees hid them. That night, the cabin felt too quiet. Chloe and Matt sat by the fire without talking for a long time. Finally, Chloe said, She'll be okay. Matt nodded. She's stronger than both of us were at that age. Chloe leaned her head on his shoulder. Do you think she'll find someone? Matt smiled small. The moon is good at picking. They went to bed early. Matt held Chloe extra close. Outside, the forest whispered that everything changes, but love stays. And far away, under the same moon, Ember rode toward the sea, with a heart full of home, and a story ready to grow even bigger. The first winter without Ember was the quietest Moonhaven had ever known. Snow fell heavy and early. The river froze solid. Children still played, but their laughter sounded farther away. Chloe found herself looking toward the north path every morning, half hoping to see a small black wolf running home. Matt felt it too. He hunted longer than he needed to. He checked the borders twice a day instead of once. At night, he sat on the porch longer, ears turned toward any sound that might be paws on snow. One evening in late winter, the gray raven came back. It landed on the fence post with a soft croak. A red string was tied around its leg. Chloe ran out in only her socks and untied the small roll of paper. She carried it inside and read it by firelight while Matt watched her face. Grandma, Grandpa, the coast is beautiful. The sea is so big you cannot see the other side. People here have never seen snow, only salt wind. They built me my own cabin on a hill. I teach children every morning. I teach mothers how to dry fish the way you taught me. I heal with the plants I carried in my pocket. They call me the wolf girl from the forest. They listen when I speak. I miss pancakes with honey. I miss your stories. I miss Grandpa's growly voice when he pretends to be mad. Tell everyone I am safe and happy. I am coming home for spring. Save me the first strawberries. Love forever. Ember Chloe read it 3 times. Then she handed it to Matt. He read it slow, moving his lips with some of the longer words. When he finished, his eyes were wet. She's doing good, he said. She's doing great, Chloe answered. They hung the letter above the fireplace next to the silver ring box and the drawing from Captain Nora. The wall was getting full of love. Spring came sudden and loud. Snow turned to rivers. Flowers exploded everywhere. Birds screamed from dawn to dark. On the first warm day, Chloe planted strawberries in the garden behind the cabin. She sang while she worked. Matt watched from the doorway and smiled every time she bent over. 3 weeks later, on a morning bright with sun, a single horse walked into the clearing. Ember rode tall in the saddle. Her hair was longer and sun-bleached at the ends. She wore new leather boots and a blue coat the color of the sea. A small scar ran across one cheek, new, but already silver. The whole village dropped everything and ran. Ember jumped down before the horse stopped moving. She ran straight to Chloe and Matt. Chloe got the first hug. Ember smelled like salt and pine and horse. "I'm home," Ember whispered into Chloe's silver hair. Matt lifted them both off the ground in one big hug. He didn't speak. He just held on. That night, the big house could not hold everyone. People ate outside on blankets. Someone slaughtered the fattest pig. Someone opened the best cider. Someone started drumming before the sun even went down. Ember stood on the same bench she had used on her 16th birthday. "I have stories," she shouted. The drumming stopped. Everyone sat. Ember told about the coast, about children who had never seen a wolf, about old men who cried when she shifted the first time, about a storm that sank 3 boats, and how she pulled 5 people from the waves in wolf form. About the scar. She got it saving a little boy from a falling mast. Then she grew quiet. "I also have something else," she said. She stepped down and walked to Chloe and Matt. From her pocket she pulled a small cloth bag. Inside were 2 rings, made of dark blue seashell and silver wire. Ember took Chloe's left hand, the one with the silver ring from years ago, and slid the new ring on her smallest finger. "This one is from the children on the coast," she said. "They made it from shells they found the day I saved their friend." Then she took Matt's huge hand and put the second ring on him. "This one is from me. Because you taught me love is bigger than one forest." Matt stared at the ring like he had never seen anything so beautiful. Chloe cried without trying to hide it. Ember hugged them again, then turned to the village. "I'm home for good," she announced. "The coast has their own wolf girl now. My work there is done." The cheering was so loud the trees shook. Later, when the moon was high and the fire low, Chloe, Matt, and Ember walked to the old sacrifice tree. The carvings were deeper now, worn smooth by years of loving hands touching them. Ember put her palm on the words, "Love grew a village." "I added something," she said softly. She stepped aside. Below the old words, fresh and sharp, someone had carved, and the granddaughter carried it to the sea. Chloe touched the new letters. Matt rested his chin on top of her head. Ember leaned against them both. 3 generations under the same moon. The story was still growing, and it always